Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who's investigating possible election interference in Georgia during the 2020 race, wants to question Graham about the calls he made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger after the election.
Lindsey Graham has some real audacity. In hopes of dodging his Georgia grand jury subpoena, the senator from South Carolina, yeah, I think that's it, just filed a brief before the Court of Appeals that tells us everything we need to know. Welcome to TYT's Overruled. I'm legal analyst Adrienne Lawrence. In his effort to evade testifying before the special grand jury about his calls to the Georgia Secretary of State, Senator Lindsey Graham's legal team today filed an audacious brief in the federal appellate court. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit had asked Graham to explain exactly which grand jury questions and/or categories of questions are not okay with him. Well, as you'd imagine, Graham thinks all of the questions and all the categories are a problem. He wants the entire subpoena tossed. In short, here's what Graham argued. The court should order partial quashal or modification of the subpoena, quashing or modifying it to the extent it covers any lines of inquiry the court deems subject to the speech or debate clause. Any partial quashal should extend to Senator Graham's investigatory activities and the motives behind them, including, at the very least, Senator Graham's telephone calls to the extent they pertain to the 2020 election and his motive for making them. Translation: the court should kill the entire subpoena, and if it kills just part of it, the court should kill the part involving anything about Graham's phone calls to Georgia Secretary of State. Seriously, Graham does not want to be asked about his 2 phone calls to Brad Raffensperger. Here is a breakdown of the reasons why, legally, the senator doesn't think he should be asked these questions. Graham argues that he shouldn't have to testify at all because he was just doing his job, and the speech and debate clause says lawmakers don't have to answer for doing their job. Now, what job exactly is that? Well, Graham says that he was calling Raffensperger to investigate voting procedures in Georgia. Yeah, the senator claims that he's supposed to do that under the Constitution and the Electoral Count Act. According to Graham, a senator's investigation into a state's absentee ballot process and alleged voting irregularities in the state about topics on which legislation could be had, and in fact was had, and with a vote on certifying the election under the Electoral Count Act certainly impending, is quintessentially protected legislative activity, regardless of how often the Fulton County District Attorney wishes to ignore the certification vote, introduction of legislation, and the like. Yeah, that's rich. I can't help but wonder if Graham was the only senator making calls to Raffensperger. Also, too, did he follow any process for conducting his investigation? Did he send a strongly worded letter seeking the documents from Georgia? Yeah, there seems to be a lot missing here, and we're not going to find it if left to Graham, because it's clearly evident he does not want to be asked about this investigation or his motives behind the calls. This says to me that Graham definitely does not want the special jury to ask him why. And that very fact is a hell of an admission of ill motive and guilt as far as I'm concerned. And also, too, it confirms that Lindsey is going to be pleading the Fifth. How do you think the 11th Circuit is going to respond here? Because I know that they see it too. You let me know in the comments below. Hit that like and follow button. And thanks for watching.